cooking demonstration.
Exciting.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
Did we get record numbers like we did years past? No, but we did get a following. We did get we did get some numbers out there. People enjoyed themselves.
Good.
And the carnival rides were phenomenal too, as always, as we always did.
We had talked about the possibility of doing a show there on Sunday, but what was the deal? The Wi-Fi was out.
It was so. My understanding, I'm not sure if it's Xfinity or if it's satellite internet. Mm-hmm. Now, I guess with you would know just like I would, but satellite internet doesn't necessarily work with inclement weather,
right?
Because you have to have it goes out and grabs the signal from the sky up in space and all this good stuff. Yeah. But with the cloud cover and the rain, we didn't have good internet there.
Right.
Our ATM networks, we have a couple of machines that people can withdraw money from the machines that we rent and stuff. They weren't working. They needed Wi-Fi, and it was just kind of we just couldn't do it.
Right. Yeah.
We just couldn't do it. So I think next year we're going to see what we can do to have Xfinity out there.
Yeah, like a mobile hotspot booster or something like that.
Yeah, I think Xfinity decided to. There were some mentions about this. I'm probably not supposed to talk about this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, nice,
but I think Xfinity is going to be sponsoring the event next year, where they're going to be able to have a booth, but also provide the mobile hotspot, so we can do our show and
that'll be cool.
And have some Wi-Fi out there, so that'd be.
I really dug the idea of doing the show like on location.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. We had the Hills House, which has been there for many years. Mm-hmm. We had the space to do there. Actually, one of the AM radio stations from Nashua, WSMN, was there.
AM.
Yeah, I know.
Had to kick their asses so hard.
It was good though. It was they did their show and stuff. It worked out well.
Cool.
So
yeah, that's good.
I think it was. I'm not sure if it was a live radio broadcast or a recorded radio broadcast, just because where we were. But anyway.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. I'm a big fan of live radio broadcasts.
Yeah, me too. There's one thing that I definitely wanted to bring up. I wanted to when I bring up these particular topics that I see in that's out in the news, you bring a particular view on these things.
Yes, I do.
That make me think and go, he's right. Yeah. So let's start with this.
That's something I never get tired of hearing.
All right. So first of all, I'm going to bring this up.
Okay.
Aretha Franklin passed away.
Tragic.
Queen of Soul.
Yep.
19 Academy Awards.
Grammys or whatever.
Grammys, excuse me. Thank you. Fox News. Did you hear about this?
No.
So Fox News.
Been watching TV.
Fox News was making a particular tribute. They were actually doing their story that Aretha Franklin passed away, and 18 Grammys, and the whole thing. And the picture that they showed was Patti LaBelle.
Oh my God! Fucking idiots! Jesus Christ! Get your shit together.
Come on now. One of the major. I mean, granted, they're not a CNN, but you'd think that Fox News would have their shit together.
Oh my God!
And I'm seeing this, and I'm like, that's not Aretha.
No,
that's Patti LaBelle.
Retard.
And I'll tell you, that story went viral. Viral. I don't know what.
There's some racist jokes in there. But that's.
I could see that, but Fox News, what the hell?
I don't know, man.
Didn't someone double check that?
No, obviously not. That's a fucking huge. That's a huge dropped ball by an editor. You know what I mean? That's wow. That's awesome. Way to go, Fox.
I mean, there's been some mishaps that Fox News has done.
At least they didn't show like Lawrence Fishburne accidentally or something like that. You know what I mean? Like fucking idiots. God.
But I wanted to bring that up to you. So all those, to our listeners that are, by the way, I want to thank all our listeners too on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on Spreaker.com, and also on our YouTube channel. So thank you for listening to the show, by the way, too, live and if you listen to our show on demand. So.
Yes, and in particular, thank you to our folks. In other continents.
Yeah, exactly. We would definitely want to thank Russia and Norway. I'm not sure what...
Germany as well.
I've been still seeing those demographics
Austria,
and stuff.
Thank you very much for listening. Sweden, thank you.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of listeners in the New England states, so I want to say thank you.
Right.
Really appreciate that, too. So, all right, so let's get into this other topic here. Cincinnati, Ohio. An 11-year-old girl who Cincinnati police said that she was stealing from a supermarket had been shot with a taser gun when the incident happened. Police said that the incident happened around 9:30 p.m. on a Monday at a Kroger in Cincinnati. Authorities said that the officer suspected the girl was using a backpack to shoplift when he approached her. Police said that the girl resisted and fled before she was shot. I'm sorry, it's quite funny. The girl was taken to Cincinnati Children's Hospital and released to a guardian. Police had charged the girl with theft and obstruction of justice.
Right,
This is just getting even better.
Right.
This is the story that we posted earlier this week. Anyway, Cincinnati Police Chief Elliot Isaac has opened an investigation according to the department's policy. He said that tasers can be used on people who are at least 7 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Vice Mayor Christopher Smitherin said that there should be a complete investigation, and he'd be on top of this to see what the residents of Cincinnati thought about that. So I'm going to throw this at you. Yes, no.
Okay, part of me is all about yes. You pull that shit and then you try to get away or flee. We live in a world. But I guess I'm curious to know: was it a police officer that actually tased her, or was it store security?
It was police. It was a police officer.
It was a police officer.
Yes.
Okay. So here would be my next question: is according to the police chief, he says that that tasers can be used on people or children 7 years old or 7 or older.
Or 7 or older, correct.
How the hell did they know she was 7? Doesn't sound to me like there had been a great deal of conversation or IDs that were presented. Who has an ID at 7? How did they know she was 7, basically? You know what I mean? And I'm sure she might have looked older or whatever, but I don't know, man. Yeah, if you fuck around, then that's what's going to happen, You make bad choices. I can tell you right now, flat out, that if you make bad choices, there are consequences, and I'm intimately familiar with that. And so, hopefully that's a lesson for this young lady, that if you fuck around with the cops, man, you're gonna get tased. I think, and if it was my daughter, Sydney's 6, so yeah, I guess if I look at it from that perspective and some cop tased her, I would probably be pretty pissed about that. But at the same time, it would be like, well, what did you do? But 7, God, now I'm putting age to like a picture that I can see. You know what I mean? I know what Sydney looks like at 6. You know what I mean? I know what she's likely to look like at 7. So, yeah, that's crazy to me. I guess. You're a cop, for God's sake. You know what I mean? You should. Yeah, I'm totally changing where I was thinking now. Now that I'm imagining it being Sydney. No,
it's pretty funny because I thought about this, and I'm thinking, what am I going to say on the show?
Yeah,
and this is similar to when we started talking about abortion, and it's when you're making a generalization and you hear stories and you feel about those particular facts in a certain way, but then when you hear a story that's near and dear to you, or that's something that has
that you can personalize,
a personal collection, right. Personal connection to it, you feel a different way.
Yeah.
And now it's one of these things that when my daughter was 7 or 11 or whatever, or even now when she's 16, what the cop tased her. How do I feel about that? Right. Do I? Okay, she broke the law. She was shoplifting. Was it? A lot of people would say, well, was that, what do you call it? Excessive force, or from the police department? I don't know. It's one of those tools that they use to.
Here's the deal.
I don't know. I guess I'm having mixed feelings about it.
Yeah, you can't. I'm having a hard time with the notion that a police officer, whether it was male or female, it doesn't sound like the story says that, but an adult police officer should be able to physically restrain a 7-year-old. Let's come on now. You know what I mean? I don't care what that kid's doing. You know what I mean? So you would expect them to be able to physically restrain a 7-year-old child without the need to tase them. But here's the other side. Cops are so fucking pre-programmed through constant training.
That's what I was thinking.
Repetitious training.
Right.
That there's... and I'm not trying to generalize cops out there, because I know, that these men and women, they put their lives on the line every day, and I'm not trying to denigrate them in any way. But if you're just a fucking robot, if you're like an automaton going out there, and because there has to be some common sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There has to be some common sense when you approach a situation, and it shouldn't just be, person's fighting, now I tase. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You're dealing with a kid.
Mm-hmm.
The 7-year-old's a fucking child.
Right.
So I think it's over the top, but at the same time, I also think, that 7-year-old hopefully won't be fucking around again like that. You know what I mean? But I think it's crazy, personally, and I would absolutely lose my shit if Sydney got tased. I would fucking lose my shit if that happened. So.
There was the story that came out of Denver, Colorado, about this particular husband of Shanahan Watts. This is the guy that actually killed his estranged wife and his 2 kids. I think they were like 3 and 4 years old. And this guy had the audacity of going on TV and going, yeah, my wife is missing. I don't know what happened, and this, that, the other thing. And then come to find out, when they did this investigation, he's the one that actually killed it. So, her, excuse me. Yes, thank you.
Brain just hates women.
It's just,
they're just all it's to him.
Right now, it's just the Women Haters Club. No, but anyway, but this story has been on the news for the last week or so, and it bugs the crap out of me about this particular guy.
What about it bugs you?
Number one, he says he had nothing. He had no idea where his wife was. He had no idea about his 2 daughters.
No.
And then they, once they completed the investigation, he had everything to do with it.
But that
sounds like a cold-blooded killer to me that had no remorse.
Right. Well, I'm sure. Yeah, but that doesn't surprise me in the least. I mean, if these people were missing, then the story starts to grow. It starts to grow all on its own, type of thing. You know what I mean? So, like, if you're some fucking psychopath that's going to do some shit like that, and the next thing you know, obviously you have to stick to the story. You know what I mean? It wasn't me. Prisons are full of people that say wasn't me, but then the news media starts to get involved, and they're saying, oh my god, there's a whole family that's missing right now, and the thing starts to grow. The thing starts to grow its own legs at that point. But I mean,
Oh, and I forgot
obviously he's a piece of shit, and it sounds to me like he's in prison. So,
and I hope he gets the no. Oh well, and this gets
we have more to get.
This gets into the other topic that we want to talk about. By the way, she was also 15 weeks pregnant.
Oh Christ! What a piece of shit. God.
Daughters Celeste and Bella, ages 3 and 4.
God.
The mom was pregnant, 15 weeks, and
who does that? What the hell kind of hate and vitriol? What kind of fucking bile do you have running through your blood that you could just? Oh God, I don't know, man. Fucked up.
I'm going to be watching the story. I'd like to see what's going to happen.
Stay on top of it for us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, which gets me into this other topic that people have mentioned several times. Talk about the death penalty.
Sure.
Talk about that death penalty.
Capital punishment, baby.
Capital punishment. So let's get into it. We've talked about abortion, Roe versus Wade. We know how we feel about it.
Yeah.
Let's get into this right now. Let's dive right into it.
Death is a popular topic on Commonsense.
Yeah, I know. I guess so. How do you feel about it? Yes or no?
I'm a proponent for the death penalty. I think that if you have demonstrated that you are someone like this Shanahan Watts feller, then I don't like the idea of incarcerating somebody for the entirety of their lives at the cost of taxpayers. But there is the other side of the coin, and that is that I was thinking about this earlier when we were talking about this being the topic on the show. I was thinking about this. There's a really important piece of data that we will never have, right? Never. And that is how many innocent people have been put to death. We will never know that. Now, what we might know, there is data that we do have. For instance, how many people have been put to death in the United States? That's a number that's been recorded and tracked, and you could probably Google it right now and say how many people have been put to death in the U.S. since the start of capital punishment, and you'll get a number because that is recordable. That's